It's recording.
Oh, that's true.
Okay.
All right, can we get, I guess, a roll call? If I screw something up, let me know.
Yes. District Treasurer?
Here.
District Attorney Assistant?
Present.
We have C3,
Present.
C2, and C4.
Present.
And for the record, C1 and C5 had called in, but they would not be making it. And I sent an email to the board to let them know. And then we have the new district engineer. That would be Mr. Jeff, will present him for new lines. So this is just roll call, you can just wait here. And district manager is present.
All right, can we stand for the pledge of allegiance? To the flag
Of the United States of America, and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Right here.
Everybody has a pleasure. Dear Father, thank you for bringing us here today. Let us all get home safe and have a happy holidays. In your name, amen.
All right, so is there any, no additions, deletions, or substitutions to the agenda?
There is something missing. It's in regards to the engineer. I asked for it to be added onto the agenda.
What was that, sir?
In regards to jobs. I also sent an email out to the attorney.
I seen that you sent something out, but I mean, we can add it. It would just be line item
G?
G.
And what is it that we're adding?
The engineer, what is it, sir?
In regards to the hiring process of Stephen Dobbs, of when we first looked into bringing him onto the board.
Okay.
All right,
Now your motion,
is that it? No more additions, or?
I don't have any other additions unless there's anybody else that needs to add anything to the agenda. I didn't receive anything else, so.
Okay. Can I get a motion to adopt the agenda, including the hiring of, adding that G line item?
Make a motion.
I have a motion,
I second it.
second, all aye?
Alright.
Aye.
Okay. Now you'll go to the adoption of the agenda now.
That's what we just did, right? The
So
adoption.
you adopted the
The
G
agenda.
line item, now it's the agenda
Oh, the
item,
whole agenda.
the whole agenda
Can I
as a
get
whole.
can I get a motion to adopt the agenda?
Make a motion.
I have a motion, can I get a second?
Alright.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Can I get a motion to adopt the minutes for September 24th, October 18th, and November 12th, 2025?
Make a motion.
I have a motion,
Aye. Second.
I have a second, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Public comment. Mr. Rolly Gonzalez.
Thank you everyone for giving me a chance to speak. John Famero doesn't look like John Famero. I see a lot of new faces here as well, you know, and congratulations and welcome to Montero Ranches. 5 years ago, I was elected to this board, and I'm here today to tell you guys and say congratulations. The vision that I had for Montero continues to grow, and I believe that this board has done an amazing job. Not many people see it, but I do see it. I see it through the numbers, I see it through the people, and I speak for the majority of those in Montero that I relate myself with, and they're very happy of what's happening here. So the vision that I had, it's happening. You guys are doing an amazing job, and I just drove all the way from Tucson, Florida. City of Tucson, just to let you know on that as well. Thank you, continue the great work. I wish Juan was here, and Mr. Moreno, which I haven't met yet. Continue the work. I know it's been tough. It's a tough battle. Everybody has different ideas and their own opinions as well, but I think we're on the right track. To make Montero Ranches what my vision was, and many of those that wanted it as well. So I want to wish you all a happy holiday, and thank you for giving me a chance to speak to you all, okay? Thank you. Have a wonderful evening.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Keep coming around. Get them boots, boy.
Any more comments? Was that the only one?
Oh, man.
Alright, can we move to the regular agenda?
Yes, sir.
So first one, discuss and vote on RFP for resurfacing Montero Avenue.
Yes, so you guys gave permission already, but the RFP had to be done. Steve, I don't know if you have that.
No, not even close. Just give me
Okay.
another couple of days. Yeah, I didn't have that as a deadline for me to prepare the RFP. That's like a day's work, so.
Okay.
But it's, as long as we get an approval, I believe we can do a lot of
Yeah,
work.
so if you guys, if the board would approve it, so once I get it, it has to go to, like up for bid and stuff, so that's a whole ad and everything, and if not, it keeps delaying us another month.
I thought DS Asphalt was doing it.
No, he's done patchwork for us for now, but the actual mile, it has to be placed out for bid. We just don't go with just one person, we have to place that out for bid. We have to get the 3 quotes and everything, but if I don't do it right now, it's gonna keep delaying the process for us. So I just, I'm requesting from the board to approve me for the RFP, so I can get it to, get the legal ad and everything done, so we can get the process going, because if not, it's gonna delay another, actually 3 months, because you have to put it out for bid for 45 days. By the time we get it back, the bids come in, then we have to bring it back to the board, and then the board will decide who you're gonna award the contract to, and then get it started. So if not, it'll be raining season, and then,
Good luck.
yeah, so I'm just trying to get this moving, as soon as possible.
And if I can jump in here, Mr. Chair, so I can make it easier. The way I can make it easier is I'll just take an RFP and refer to an Exhibit A. So we need a scope of work, generally that's the whole thing, right?
Mhm.
So as long as you have a scope of work, I'll be able to turn around even faster,
Yeah,
just by reference. So nothing about the work itself will be embedded in the language of the RFP, it'll be referred to, that's fine.
mhm,
Let's say Friday,
that's
I'll
fine.
get you,
Okay, I appreciate that. If that's good with the board,
Yeah,
okay, so you guys, would you please vote on that for me, please?
I'll make a motion.
So can I get a motion to release the RFP for resurfacing Montero Avenue?
I'll make a motion.
I have a motion. Can I
Aye.
get a second?
Aye.
Second. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Thank you, Corey.
Discuss and vote on performance measure.
Yeah, sure, I'll just jump in here. So you've got before you for action a resolution that its only purpose is to publish our completion of the performance measures, right? So they created this law, I think it was in late '23, that took effect last year, I think, sounds about right. And so all we have to do is create the performance measures, you've already looked at that and approved them, and then now we're saying, here's how it turned out. And that's it, you know, the statute is funny, it doesn't say anything bad happens, like if we were to put, did accomplish nothing. Right now, there is no mechanism in the statute to create an enforcement process, but we gotta publish it, so I'll just need your approval on the resolution, and then Becky can get it published.
So we're publishing the new measures, or we're publishing the results?
It would
The
not-
results.
This would be the results, because we did the new measures at the October,
Yes.
at the day meeting, right? We had the, just, you know, repurposed the ones from last year, right? So the performance measures are gonna be the same.
Mhm.
It's just this year saying, how did we do? And the statute calls for that to be published on December 1st. I'm saying the fact that our meeting schedule doesn't jive with that, we're fine. But as long as we get it published sometime this month, we'll be all right.
Where's the results, is that the one
It's,
in here?
the one that's stapled,
This big one?
yes.
Okay. Can I get a motion to approve so I guess that would be 2025?
Correct, there would be the 2025 performance measure results.
Okay. Can I get a motion to approve the 2025 performance measure reviews results? I have a motion. Can I get a second?
Second.
Second, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Thank you.
Discuss and vote on holidays fiscal year 2026.
Yes. So you guys, the state, sorry guys. The board asked me to go back and talk to, the staff about like the holidays. Mr. Mata was the one that brought it up. I actually put a copy on the back of that, of the resolution. Mhm. We kinda just stapled everything together for you guys. So these are just the dates, the same dates that we had. The only thing is that now you guys are actually approving them and we're not following Henry County for any holidays. Because like when DeSantis gives an extra holiday date, this is what we're gonna go based on, our holidays that you guys approve.
Yeah, because I know that there's some days that Henry County had off, that they had to work, but Central County was taking it off, those 2 or 3 holidays.
So, yes, so if you look at it, sorry to cut you off.
Yeah.
If you look at it, the clerk of courts would be open, but the county itself would be closed, even in Henry County.
Or even, there was some that the road department was still open.
Also open.
Yeah, because cause that's the first one I called was the road department.
Mhm.
And I called them, the last one I'd even think about would be the courts,
Mhm.
because they're different
So,
branch.
okay.
So I always went to the road
The
department.
road.
Yeah, and those like 3, because I know I brought it up with John too a couple times, because I called him, he asked me if I was sure, I said, yeah, I called him, and he even called him, and it was open.
Yeah.
So that's why I just want to make sure, because I know back then that was an issue that we did have. So, but we,
So this will be based on everything, so this is what we would go off of.
Mhm.
We wouldn't go off of any DeSantis, days off.
How many did we have last year?
13?
13?
Mm-hmm.
This year was 13 as well, so this is 14.
Yeah, we added some. We added one more day.
Yes, New Year's Eve was the one that we added.
Yeah, that was the one that I had asked for
so
them to agree to.
with any of these holidays, would there be like day before, day after that you'd take off with it too?
If falls on a weekend, if it's a Saturday or Sunday, if it's on a Saturday, we get Friday. If it's on a Sunday, we get Monday.
But is there a way that you could get one of these that reflects more of that? Because what ends up happening is like if you look at one day, there might be a day more, because it's 13 days, but if you start adding up what else comes with it, it could end up 20 days or whatever it could be.
Well, if it's not an actual date, then it's gonna reflect the 13 off days from the calendar. I'm saying from Monday to Friday. If it's on a weekend, it's not gonna count. It wouldn't count at all, so it would be less
Well, you're
days.
saying to add like if it's a Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday.
Yeah,
No, because there's some places, that's what I'm asking, like let's say New Year's falls on a Saturday,
Right.
are they gonna get Friday off?
mhm.
Right. Yeah.
So
Okay.
this is what I'm saying, if you look at this, it says office and clubhouse will be closed but it's
I
not
see
showing
what
that
you
Friday will be closed,
Right, so that means that it'll be closed Friday, I see,
Right,
I see
that's what
you're saying.
I'm getting at with that, to where it reflects more of what's really gonna be, what days that the offices are gonna be closed.
So are all these, I think what he's asking is, are all these days already Monday through Friday?
From what I looked at, yes, like President's Day, Martin Luther King, those are Mondays. Memorial Day is a Monday, Independence Day is actually in the middle of the week. Labor Day is Monday, Columbus Day is on a Monday, cause I just looked at that myself, I was trying to confirm the dates. Veterans Day, always, it's that, it's on the 11th, and I think it's on a Wednesday this coming year that's coming. Thanksgiving, it's Thursday and Friday always.
So
The only off day that it would be for Christmas Eve, Christmas Day, New Year's Eve, and New Year's Day.
I think I understand what you're saying. He's saying that, let's say, theoretical, something closes on a Saturday. The main office will be closed on that Friday.
Correct.
But for the clubhouse, will they default to that Friday as well? Or would they default to the original
No, what I'm asking about in general, because whenever the office is closed, the clubhouse is closed. What I'm asking is that, let's say on a Saturday,
Mhm.
if it's a holiday, are they gonna be out Friday?
Yes,
Or sometimes there's some place that will give you Monday, they'll give you like day before day. So what I'm just trying to figure out, whenever it
If
says
it's
office
that
and club will be
Saturday,
closed, if
yes.
there's gonna be like for New Year's, is it January 1st, let's say it fell
on a Saturday.
on a Saturday, so
We would be
Friday or
closed on
Monday,
Friday
yeah,
because of Saturday.
yeah.
That's what I said. So if it falls on a Sunday, we would be closed on Monday.
Yeah,
If
but
it's on a Saturday, it would be on Friday.
what he's trying to say is that whatever date is on there, he wants it to be the actual date.
Yeah, if it's gonna be 2 days.
So even if
Okay,
it's,
so,
so even if New Year's holiday for the employees is gonna land on December 29th, he wants it to be reflected as December 29th, but we know that lines up with New Year's Eve.
Yeah, so if you had to
Gotcha.
redo this list and say, these are the projected days we're gonna be closed,
mhm,
you're gonna have exactly every single day,
yeah.
whether it's gonna be the day before or the day after.
So like you guys approved the 31st, okay? So the 31st of December falls on Wednesday.
Yep.
Which is New Year's Eve. So then we would be closed Wednesday and Thursday,
Right,
right? And that's what you wanted to reflect. If it's a Thursday and then,
yeah, cause if you only look at it now, it says December 31st, and if you read the top of the header, it says office and clubhouse will be closed, but it's not gonna be just the 31st, it's gonna be the,
actually, this one will be the 30, on those the specific dates,
Mhm.
because it's not a weekend. Only if it fell on the weekend, then it would reflect that Friday, that it would be closed.
Mhm.
And that's what you're
yeah,
asking.
it was like your Wednesday, Thursday, it says Wednesday, but then you're still gonna be closed on Thursday only.
Yeah, but I'm just saying, like, this is the 31st and the 1st.
Mhm.
So that would be December
Yeah, so it would be-
31st and the 1st.
Yeah.
Because it's on here already.
Yeah.
So it would fall, we're not adding extra dates at all.
Okay.
That's what I'm stating, so.
Right. Yeah, I just, so, to not complicate it so much,
No,
just
no,
I
I
wanna
know.
make sure
I
that whatever
understand.
days are on here, that there's
Yes,
not
sir.
gonna be, cause I know that
There's no
before,
extra dates, yes,
there's
sir.
other days that they'll be closed, and then I could come and then y'all will be closed, but it doesn't reflect here that day as it being closed. It's supposed, anybody would think it's open, they're like, the holiday was yesterday, why they closed today, cause
Correct.
it's the day after.
Correct,
That's what I'm trying to get to.
correct.
Okay, just
Yes.
not to complicate it.
So I think
No,
that,
no, I know, I understand what you're saying.
Okay.
Cause like the clubhouse is open on the weekends.
Right.
I get it, and then, so if it falls on that, like right now, just an example, if it falls on the 1st, it's on Saturday, and you're giving us the 31st now, so then they would be closed Friday and Saturday, but they would be open on Sunday. They should be open on Sunday, because they got Saturday and they got Friday off. Same thing with us, it wouldn't add anything,
Yeah.
an extra date, it wouldn't add an extra date.
I just wanna make sure, I know there's been a
Yes,
lot of people complain about certain days that they go to the clubhouse and it's closed, and then if they, of course, if you look at the date, then there's actually.
It should reflect the
It should
dates that
reflect
it's
every
closed.
day
Mhm.
to where there's no confusion,
Agreed.
so
Agreed,
they
sir.
just know.
Yes, sir.
That's the only thing I like to see different with this, whatever days that you're projecting out for it to be closed, just have it on there.
I would list it.
Yeah, to where we're looking at it for what it really
What it
is.
is, yeah. So I think right now, 2026 is accurate. When we do 2027, it'll be the same names. It just needs to reflect the dates. So at that point, if something falls on
On a weekend.
a Sunday,
Yeah, it should reflect that.
the
Right.
board would
Correct.
approve if we want a Friday off or a Monday off,
Correct.
and that'll be.
Correct.
Yeah,
Mhm.
nothing more than that.
Agreed. No, I agree. That's why you guys, we brought this, so we can have clarity, not just for us, for the community as well, so.
Will it be added onto the app for them to see as well?
Mhm. So I need a motion
Alright,
from the board.
can I get a motion to approve the holidays for fiscal year 2026?
I make a motion.
Motion, can I get a second?
Aye.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Discuss and vote on meeting dates fiscal year
Yes.
25.
And that is the second resolution that's on here with the meeting dates. I also added the workshops, the budget workshops. And this year, we do have elections for seat 1 and 5, which are landowner seats. So there will be an election that will start at 9 in the morning, that Saturday, and then it ends at 3. So, but those are the dates, those are the Wednesdays, and those are the workshop dates that I did put the date before like we did this year. Now, that's up to the board, are we following that again this year? Where we come the day before our meeting to do the budget workshop and then the workshop, or do you wanna just come in at 6 and do the budget workshop and then go into the meeting at 7? Cause last year, it was a good idea, but then everybody kinda fell off on the workshop the day before.
Yeah, we would've shown up at 6 and no, we're sitting here for a whole hour just waiting, and it never got nowhere, unfortunately.
So, that's why I'm asking, so if we adjust it, we can adjust it. I still need to have these dates approved, whatever dates we're gonna have, cause it has to be posted before the year.
Yeah.
So, and again, it's, that's what I'm asking.
Where's the list of the actual workshops? That's separate?
It's there, it's on the page on Exhibit A. It should be probably before that one, or right after, yeah.
So we had before,
Started
we
May.
just started early, had the budget workshop, and then went into the meeting.
That's what we used to do. We come in at 6.
Oh.
Now, our meeting starts at 6, so you guys will have to be here by 5. The workshop will start at 5, and then we'll go, right after our budget workshop into the meeting at 6. So, I wanna make sure that everybody's on the same page, because I did add the extra date, but I wasn't sure, and I just wanted to make sure. I mean, I can adjust this and have this, I just need the dates approved correctly, so I can get this posted as well.
Because we have them separate right now, right? We have them-
This year we did them separate. This year we did it the day before, but like Mr. Self said, a lot of, within the board, it became a little difficult because some of you guys do work late some hours throughout the summertime, and so some didn't make it on time. And we were going, it was 7 o'clock and nobody showed up. It was 7:30 and still nobody showed up, and we had to cancel, but,
Who changed it from 7 to 6? Was it you?
No,
Wasn't you?
no.
Mr. Moreno was the one that, brought it up because nobody was showing up at the 7 o'clock meetings.
No, I was here.
No, I'm just
But it
stating,
was-
yeah, but that
it
was,
It was more related to the audience.
yes, for the audience. Mhm.
Yeah.
Because the only reason why I'm saying, in adding it all up, because when I served this chair, some people that were coming, they came early, thinking that that was our regular meeting. And then when we went through our whole budget meeting, some of them already left, and their biggest concern was, we went there early, being a little confused, thinking that that was the regular meeting. Because we've had budget meetings that were 3 hours long, of us all going back and forth, and then the meeting was 45 minutes long. So, my opinion is, leave it as it is. If the board shows up, they show up. If they don't, they don't. And then we can discuss it later on, again next year.
Mhm.
But that's
The
just where I'm
only,
at with
the
it.
only thing we saw last year was that nothing got done for the budget meeting, and then we were talking about the same thing in the regular meeting. So it made our meetings for that summer longer. I'm just saying, we got out at 11:30 sometimes.
Yeah. Which,
So-
like, me personally, so,
I'm just giving, the
Right.
feedback of what
Yeah.
I've received, so again, it's up to the board. I just need dates.
So one of the reasons why I think some of that happened is, and I think Dina's on the board now, but, we didn't have a lot of numbers ready to discuss, so that was dragging a lot of that. So, one of the things I would suggest, I know it's not related to the actual dates, but whenever we start the workshop, which is gonna be in May, I would say we need to make sure that we have a rough draft of a budget ready to go, you know, based on kind of whatever we discuss over the next few months, but have an actual rough draft that we can all start looking at, because what happened in those budget workshops, we were basically starting from zero every meeting. And we didn't get, when we got to September is when we were kind of barely putting something together that was kind of, you know, I guess adoptable. So I would like to see something where, you know, we're 70–80% ready to go in May. That way the board has a lot more time to actually slice and dice
Process it.
and remove or add whatever we need to do, and we're not rushing, trying to get to the finish line. So I don't know if you guys can kind of coordinate, you know,
Yeah.
ahead of time so that we can get that kind of started, so that when we do start in May, it's ready to go and we're a lot more efficient, everything rolls, and hopefully we're not here that late trying to, you know, get to that point.
Okay, so,
So can I get a motion to, you got something?
I just wanna know if we're gonna keep all the dates with the workshops prior, or are we gonna do the early, the hour before? The hour before?
So I was gonna make I was gonna call it to basically what's on your sheets.
Okay, so we're gonna keep the extra date for the workshops, that's all I'm stating.
Well,
Okay.
if they wanna make a motion, kind of, unless you guys have a different motion you wanna make.
That's what we do, because starting at 5, it'll be kind of hard for probably most of us. It'll be hard for me, you know, I won't be able to make that. I have to leave out of work and, you know. So, I mean, I'd rather have to come in 2 days in a row, and it gives us more time to kind of iron some of this
Okay.
stuff out than try to cram it all in an hour.
Okay, so this is what it reflects, so that's fine.
Yeah,
So you'll give a motion?
Okay, so can I get a motion to approve the meeting dates and budget dates based on Exhibit A?
A motion.
I have a motion, can I get a second?
Alright.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
And these dates are gonna be posted on the app as well.
Yes,
Okay.
yes, all of them. Oh, going back to the holiday, you wanted to bring up the 26th of this year?
Yes.
You spoke to me about,
Yes.
I'm sorry.
I know we passed it, Chair, but, I think, this is my opinion, and I'm asking for the board's feedback on this. Christmas and Christmas Eve and Christmas Day land on Wednesday, Thursday, and then we have operations again on that Friday, and then they leave again Saturday and Sunday and don't come back until Monday. I was speaking with Becky about this. This was something that we've tried ourselves, is giving them the 26th as well, so they have a long holiday weekend to really rest up, and then come back, because they won't get another long week. They won't get another long weekend like that for a while. So that was the only reason that I wanted to speak with everybody about that.
How many days did we give them already so far?
We're
Just Christmas
Yeah.
Eve and.
No, I'm saying in total, because I know there was a July holiday as well that
We
the
didn't
sandwiches.
get,
all we added was New Year's Eve.
no, we didn't get that date.
Yeah, the
We
board said
didn't
no.
follow that one?
No, sir, not even June 19th. Juneteenth, we didn't do.
Okay.
No.
So we're talking about adding another item to the agenda?
It was supposed to be during the holidays that we did the holiday schedule. He was, Mr. Santiago was gonna bring it up, but I just remembered myself now. But the schedule that we just did is for 2026.
Yeah,
He's talking about the 26 for this
for
year.
now.
Yeah.
That's what I'm saying, so it'd be a different line item technically, because the other one said 2026.
Does one get amended to it?
We could amend it to, that line item, because it's about holidays. So it's up to the board.
So can I just run the motion, or?
You can actually recall the previous motion, so just, well, Mr. Najar, would you mind, just, you just have to recall the motion and change it however you want, and then just revote it. Right, it sounds like what you're doing is slightly amending, what you
Yeah,
approved prior
that's
to.
it.
The previous one, you can do it.
Chair, I'm asking if we can amend, the holiday schedule for the 2025/2026 year for, 12/26/2025 of this year for, the workers to have it off as well.
So can I get a motion to amend the holidays fiscal year 2026 and add December, what was it, 26?
Yes, sir.
Add December 26, 2025 to this year's holiday schedule. Can I get a motion?
You make the motion?
Yeah.
I'll give a second.
Can I get a second?
I'll second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Discuss and vote on items to purchase.
Yes, so the board asked me to actually get numbers for you guys, which I did there in the front pocket. I had, given, the descriptions, and I actually got, numbers, and this is for the gators that we're wanting to replace, the bush hog mowers, the 3815 and the 3715 that are very, very old. And also just the 60, this one says 61. Mr. Wolf didn't give me 72, which the 72 mower, it's a Skag mower that the clubhouse has. They're also part of Sourcewell, and they're giving me the government, prices with the discounts. So I have John Deere and I have, Kubota. And I got the financing and, buying them out as well. So that's what you're seeing in front of you, with these numbers.
Can I speak, Chair?
Go ahead.
For Wolf Lawn, Machine and Ink, they're too expensive because for that exact same mower, I bought that in Palm Beach. It was a 61 inch, it came out to $12,000.
That's an exact one?
Exact same one.
38 horsepower,
Yep,
okay.
it was a
With who
61
though?
inch. It was with Green Thumb, I think it's a Skag mower. Everything is exactly the same, all the specs.
Green what, sir?
Green Thumb, they're off of Southern Boulevard in West Palm.
Okay, just remember that it has to be, they either have to be with like, the Florida Sheriff's, Sourcewell, or an entity that is with the government.
Yeah, they get,
They do give them?
Palm Beach
Okay.
County's, South Florida Water Management District, they buy from them. They're a
Awesome.
vendor.
Okay,
So that's why I mentioned that, because I just seen that price and I was like, well, that's a lot for a 61 inch mower. And they also have different promotional deals, cause I did mention this to the rep there as well.
mhm.
If you buy, multiple,
They give us a better
they'll
discount,
give you a better deal.
yes. And you'll see that with, the Gators. I believe Kubota gave me the diesel ones, because they're a little bit more heavy duty.
That lasts longer,
Yeah,
supposedly.
yeah. Cause I did tell them that we do add like a small, 3x5 trailer on them. So she gave me the heavier duty one with, the diesel engine. So-
Don't we already have Everglades as a vendor, and don't we buy equipment from them already?
Yeah.
They have it here, I have it here as well. The only thing I did not see, and I didn't see it where it was a diesel engine, so it might change the price a little bit. They are a little bit less expensive than the Kubotas. But again, she gave me diesel, and I'm not exactly sure if these were gas or diesel when Matt gave me the pricing.
Right.
I'm pretty sure he'll give us a better deal, if I can show him, you know what I'm saying? The comparison. But we do have gators right now.
And when we call for them to get service, they come and service them? Or
We
have-
service our own equipment. Remember, ours that we have, they're old already,
Okay, right.
so we service our own.
But
But
we were
even
to
if we
go-
had it, we would do the change of oil and stuff like that ourselves. Unless it's part of the warranty or
warranty,
something,
right.
and they come out.
And
and
that's
they
why I
do
was
it.
asking, because I know we have all the other machines from them.
So, I wanted to bring this up, I wanted to put it in front of the board, and just get your feedback. And
this is
if you see, I did add the, 15 mower, you'll see it, the flex wing rotary, cutter, which is, I got the 15, and then we were talking about the 12-inch. And he just updated the quotes, and I also got that also for, through Kubota, which she gave me the prices as well. Cause I believe, Mr. Self, we were talking, as the board was talking, the more people move in, the less room we're gonna have between driveways
Yeah.
and culverts, so that was something that, I wanted to bring and put it in front of the board again.
So you're looking at replacing,
The mowers, yeah, 2 of them. The 2
So-
mowers.
so that they're zero turns? You got a zero turn, I'm just trying to go down the list.
Okay,
So
okay.
you got a zero turn one, right?
Yeah, the 0 turn is actually a 72, he sent me the 61.
Okay.
So, but I'm gonna call to the vendor that Mr. Santiago said to see, what their pricing is. And,
And
now,
number 2, we're looking at replacing gators,
we're replacing 3 gators.
3 gators?
Mhm. 2 of them are gone,
Is this for, real quick, is this for here or for the clubhouse?
that's the clubhouse.
Clubhouse?
Yes, sir. That's the clubhouse. The Skag Moore is for the clubhouse from Wolf.
Okay. So you said 3 gators and 2 are gone already?
We have, the one from the clubhouse that I believe that's been there from the beginning of time. And, it should have been replaced many moons ago. And then we had bought 2 used ones, about 4 years ago from Everglades. And, one of them is completely out, the other one has given us a lot of problems. And I asked sales rep from John Deere and also their people, because they gave us a lot of problems with the fuel pumps. And so that was something, I didn't know if that was like a recall for them or something, because that kept just going out. That was like one of our main problems with, the Gator that we had, you know, those models. So he gave me an upgrade on these, quotes that you're seeing. He gave me an upgrade, and these are for new ones. And being that if we get the 3, then the prices, you know, of course drop. But like I said, I don't know if this is gas or diesel. It doesn't say on here if it was, diesel for the 3.
They're probably gas for that price.
Yeah, they're good. That's what I'm looking at.
I didn't see it on here where it said gas.
So how long ago did we get rid of the other 2?
We have the, when we put up the stuff for auction, the stuff that was dead, that's, part of the, Iron Planet, you know, the auction items that we took off.
So how long have they been out of service, the other 2?
Well, there was a Viking that was before that, so the Viking was one of the ones that we sold. The other, we have one that is in service here, and then the one that's at the clubhouse. And those are the 2, and then the other one that's completely gone, that's the 3rd one. So that one has been out of service for more than 6 months. But of course, we couldn't replace it until this time for the budget.
So y'all had 2 that y'all used here to clean up around,
We
and
used to
then
have
one
2,
for the
yes.
clubhouse?
Correct. And then one of the ones that we had here, was the one that completely just went out. And it didn't make sense to keep putting money because they couldn't even find what was wrong with it,
Yeah.
you know? So that was just a waste of money.
So the price for the Kubota, that's just for one?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. What you're seeing on the Kubota is that she gave me one for the finance
Yeah, one cash,
and then one paying out cash.
couple $1,000 difference, man.
Mhm.
Pay it off,
Right.
that's what they do.
Yeah.
What kind of mowers do we have now, the pull behind mowers, those wing mowers, are they John Deere's?
Those are bush hogs.
The ones you have now?
Mhm.
They're bush hog mowers, and the 3715 is a dinosaur. You can't even get barely parts from bush hog for 3715, they make it no more. And then the 3815, that's still available.
I thought Caterpillar,
Hmm?
I thought Caterpillar
Land Pride,
bought them, no?
Land Pride is through CAT.
Mhm.
I would not do Land Pride.
They're not anymore. Kubota bought Land Pride, so they took Caterpillar out of the
Oh,
distribution.
yeah.
Now you gotta buy Land Pride through a
Kubota.
Kubota.
Yeah. And they haven't got any better over the years either.
You guys ever tried, what was the other one? What was the one that you guys had was Bush Hog. You ever
Yeah.
tried Rhino? Was it Rhino?
Right on.
Rhino was the one that gave me a quote last time, and they were way up here.
Yeah.
They're more expensive.
They're pretty good units. Rhino, John Deere's are pretty good, they have really good cuts. The problem is out here is that if the employees don't watch what they're doing, they'll bust them up real quick. They used to have the airbags on them, but I think they got away from the airbags, because a lot of people busting them all the time.
On the mower?
John Deere's a
On the
little
back,
bit-
instead of the springs, they put airbags on them,
I got
and then once they blow out, you can't adjust
I
it.
got you.
John Deere's a little bit thinner, right?
Yeah, they have some that are heavier duty built, but they're nice for pastures. I mean, they cut super nice, but if you pick them up, you start doing some stuff that you're gonna break drive shafts and all that type of stuff.
Mhm.
And they could come out and demo some
Mhm.
if they wanted to. You know, they're all not built the same, and then plus, I know at the end of the roads, turning around with some of the Rhinos was really hard to turn around with.
Mhm.
And if you have your PTO engaged, you put
Correct.
such a bad angle, it'll bust the drive shafts.
Yeah. Mhm.
And that's another thing they need to look into, 'cause some of them would do better in some of the swells. You know, the foam-filled tires
Mhm.
are good, but the problem is they're so heavy whenever you're on a slope, it's trying to pull it, and
Mhm.
that does tear up some of the berms. So I know that some of the things I've seen there, they have foam-filled,
Mhm.
but,
And I believe that's what Emilio did too. I remember him
Demos.
taking the guys to do the foam full tires.
oh, the foam-filled, yeah.
Mhm.
It used to be
On the
a,
bush hogs.
yeah, it's a good thing, but what it does too, is that it's real hard on the bearing, so whenever you're mowing at a slope, all that weight's on that bearing, and then it's going, if they don't grease it, it'll come completely off, and you're gonna go through bearings like crazy. The only downfall to it is if you get a punctured tire, you're gonna have a bunch of tubes, so
Mhm.
there's two ways to it. But it wouldn't be bad if they'll demo some of this stuff out. You get them to demo it and see if there's some of these places, some of these, dead end roads, you could go down, see how they turn around and how they like them.
Mhm.
Yeah, they have right now, the Rhino ones that you're talking about online.
Mhm.
15 foot?
Yeah, they have it for $18,997, and then they have, I guess, the new Bush Hog. They have it for $28,997, and then the ones that you have here at $23,700. They're giving you a $200 deal from their website.
Well, and once you get a government discount, it's
Yeah.
gonna change a lot too.
Mhm.
Just that would take quite a bit off.
I would just say, if we're gonna buy from John Deere and they offer everything we're looking for, stay with the same retailer. They can give us a bigger price, a bigger deal, and then if we do need to default to service, hey, we already have an account with them. We could do that as well, but that's just my opinion. I don't want us to buy different different toys from different vendors, and then we're looking for this part, that part. When we already build a relationship with John Deere, you know, it's like, hey, if we buy all this from you, you know, what better deal than what you show me can you work me out? You know, shop them.
Well, one of the biggest things that I'll tell you from perspective of running equipment and stuff, you can jump on a Cat, John Deere, just dozer wise.
Right.
So you like John Deere, you like Cat. Who do you like?
Me personally,
Yeah.
I like Caliban,
Why?
better quality.
Think so?
From what I,
So-
I can't say that because the Kubota I have, the
No, but
Kubota
see, this is what I
is
say,
a beast,
is
so I
like,
can't
what you
say
gotta
that.
look at is like reliability. You
Right.
know, like I said, the John Deere's, they're thinner, they're not as tough as, so if you go to most of your farms and stuff, you're not gonna see John Deere's out there. You'll see them, like, maybe some pastures and stuff like that. So, you know, cutting the quality down just because we got a good relationship is gonna cost us at the end. So if we have a John Deere with a fun, whatever, Chinese, if it's better quality, that's what you want. You remember, we're not in the
Yeah,
business
no.
to trading out equipment every 5
Yeah.
years. Because for that, we'll lease it out every 3 years, you know, so.
Yeah, like Bush Hog is what's lasted forever here.
Yeah, you look
I
at the
can
oldest
see that.
equipment that's here, and all they're gonna do is better it.
Yeah.
And a lot of their parts, they keep them in stock. There's some stuff that we try to get from John Deere, they're like, we're waiting to get it from Mexico or from,
Yeah.
you know, we waited for a computer one time for a while, a Cat. We had to get a part for that 190W, we had to wait a year to get a part from South Africa. And it sat out there for a whole year.
Chris,
They haven't been
Chris
that
made
bad.
my decision.
They have not been bad.
Well,
Not even done.
that was
done-
Cat.
Yeah,
And so now you have a John Deere 190, but the old one was a Cat, so as I'm saying, it just depends where some of the parts are coming from and who's manufacturing them for.
Alright, so we're not looking for an approval right now, right?
It'd be too hard.
not for the mowers, but for the gators.
So
uh,
I'm not ready to approve on anything related to equipment. I wanna see I kinda wanna go through the budget stuff, cause I wanna see where we landed at last year with our reserves. I
mhm.
know that was kind of something I brought up before as well, so, I mean, I can ask for a motion, but I'm not gonna vote on approving any equipment purchase today.
That's right.
I think we need to kinda, I mean, you can kinda check with the other vendors, like the Green Thumb that he was
Yeah,
referring to.
I am going to, about the
Um,
Skag mower.
But what I wanna see for the next meeting is I wanna get a list of everything that you are looking at buying and kind of, I guess anything that can be sharpened up, but anything you're looking at buying in total, like cause I know we had trucks on the list,
Mhm.
there was some other stuff
Yeah,
on
the
there.
vehicles were separate. That's a separate line item.
No, I know it's separate, but what I'm getting at is, we said we're gonna vote on each individual item,
Mhm.
and
Yes, sir.
we were kind of pushing our limits on the reserves, so I don't feel comfortable voting on anything today when
Perfectly
it
fine.
comes to the equipment.
Mhm.
Because the other thing that we also have on there that's a big ticket item is the resurfacing of that road, so,
And also, we have our grant, which is with Culpeper and Turpin. We're looking for the funds. We talked about this in our last meeting.
We gotta have a backup plan.
Yes, we had to have the backup
We
plan.
don't have the money to pull it out of our pocket.
So, and again, this is just, I wanted to bring it back because I actually had numbers to show you guys. Last time I gave you all the descriptions and there was some numbers, but not as clear as you're seeing it today.
yeah.
So I just wanted to make sure that you guys have an updated, just updated information,
Yeah,
okay?
I mean, what I would recommend is, the updated one on the mower from Green Thumb, and then like Mr. Self was saying, if you wanna maybe look at different ones and see if they wanna come out and do some demos,
We can do that too.
just to make sure we're kinda,
On the
because
same-
it's true, there's certain ones that are gonna work differently depending on what job you're gonna use them on, you know?
And just find out what their repair, like parts list, like what do y'all keep, and if there's some stuff that they'll keep more in stock, and like even blades, there's sometimes it's hard to get blades.
Mhm.
Yeah.
So just kinda ask them, you know, is that, what do y'all usually keep here locally? And kinda see what they keep up with, you know, gearboxes, so see how much you need
Yeah.
gearbox. And I remember y'all went through, I think here was some gearboxes they got,
That was with Bush,
Great.
yeah, with Bush Hog,
yeah, they got really expensive, really quick,
yes, sir.
and, you know, I'm gonna go to make sure, I'm gonna go through none of that stuff.
Well, as you see, I didn't have any Bush Hog material in here right now, so. Just for that fact, so, but yeah, definitely.
But yeah, like if for next meeting, I think if we can come up with a list,
Mhm.
like maybe put it on a summary sheet or something that we can all see everything that we're looking, cause I mean, yeah, it's separate line items, but at the end of the day, we're looking at buying all this equipment, right? We got the trucks that you had on the list,
Mhm.
the mowers, the gators, I think you had some trailers that, or a trailer, I think.
A trailer, yeah, a trailer. Mhm.
There were some other items, but if we can kinda, cause I think if the board.
The
can
other
see
one was the Bobcat, the skid steer,
The skid
sorry.
steer, yeah,
Mhm.
so I think if the board can
And
see
you
the
actually have,
picture.
numbers on here as well.
Yeah, I've seen.
Yeah, you saw it? Okay, so, yeah,
So,
I
yeah,
got
so we can see the big picture of everything.
you got it. You got it. And so, the next line item is myself again, chair. And as you notice in Montura, there's a lot of bins that people have where they put their trash in. It's normally next to like their driveway, or they have boulders and stuff that are there. And that becomes a liability because it ends up in our right of way. It normally doesn't sit there, and so there was some people that have removed theirs, and there's others that haven't, but it's up to the board to say, hey, from right of way to right of way, you guys can't have nothing there. And again, this was something that came up because when our elevation and inspections go through with the driveways, there's some people that have had to replace their culverts, but they have those trash bins or those where they collect oranges and stuff that you've seen that they're there.
Yeah.
And they collect a lot of high grass. Landowners are not keeping up with them. Some do, some don't. I had somebody that actually put a concrete slab right next to their driveway to put something that they could pin down. So again, I know that's never been approved by the board, it was never, I don't think we've ever really talked about it, but it's something that our community's growing and the new ones see these things and they're kind of repeating it, but I don't have a definite, no, you can't do that, yes, you can do that, I don't have that, and that's why I'm bringing it to the board. Will we permit people to put those bins there? And remember, there's people that have been here forever, that have had them forever,
Yeah.
and but I'm not the one that can make that decision, that's the board's decision.
If I can,
Go ahead.
Chair, yeah, and when I first got elected, that was the whole reason of researching about the bulk pickup and the trash. And we did discuss it at the time with the board about illustrating some kind of plan, and either we start rolling out where we buy 150 and do sections where we start rolling out design trash cans for Central County because of that issue. Because our waste management that would pick up the trash, their biggest problem was some people don't have trash cans. They'll just throw a trash bag there. And then you have someone or animals that will come and trash would be all over. So they do use, I call them the bolita bin, put the trash in there, the trash people come and rip it out. You also have people who do go to Walmart, Home Depot, and they buy something like a trash can and they put it out in front of their house. I did get with some of the county commissioners about that, because if they do call Waste Pro most of the time will say, okay, no problem, we'll bring something out, and they'll bring them out a trash can. Other times, like, oh, just go to your local store and buy a can. I think it's like the mailbox issue, where it was thought about but not followed through, and it has been a liability because the last, I'll say a couple months ago, someone had their bolita bin, it wasn't anchored down, nothing, and it flew and hit someone's car. So on our end, that lady did end up suing them, but it became an issue because her attorney said, who allowed that to be on the right of way? And at that time I said, well, she took that on her own part, you know, you can't come after the county, mind you, anyone can sue for anything. But on my personal opinion is, we as the board, we do have to find some solution to that, because there is people who don't have trash cans and they use those bins as their trash can. So let me just speak freely now. I think it is a liability. There shouldn't be anything in our right of way or swell, because if you go anywhere else, the cities and counties, they do enforce that it should be cleared out, there should be nothing there. But if they do get it permitted to put a concrete slab, they are allowed to put their trash cans there, like in they call it a trash corral, where it has doors and a cap so no animals can go in it. But if it's not that, then I don't foresee anything else being allowed there because it could fly away, stuff like that. So I know a garbage corral and areas that do allow them, they have to have reflectors, they have to have a light at night, and they do have to have doors with a lock where they're I think it's bear proof, because animals can get in it and have trash everywhere. So that's just my opinion on the matter, but there is a lot of constituents here in Montour that they have voiced their opinions about the county and Central County, because Hendry County doesn't enforce it because we allow it. Theoretically, it's a gray area. We haven't really determined yes or no. So I know code enforcement is not enforcing that. But if we do make that decision, I know code enforcement will come back and start issuing citations for people to start putting them inside.
Well, like the concrete pad, Hendry County can't really do nothing with the concrete pad, right?
No, they can't enforce it.
As long as it's not a,
It's on our right of way, we're the ones that have the jurisdiction.
Once we make
Yeah.
basically the law citation, the county's notified of it, they adopt it, and then code enforcement goes out and addresses
They
it.
still won't,
But
they still won't, because it's on our right of way.
Yeah.
They can't do nothing on our right of way, they cannot enforce it, we will enforce it, we will police it. We will put a state contact the office, and then we will talk to them like we're doing right now with the culverts as we're cleaning them, that landowners are not keeping up with right now.
then
Yeah.
I foresee it not being an issue of us making a statement like we did with the culverts. We post it out, we put little banners, put it on our LED sign, within 90 days going into effect. If you don't have the permit application for the culverts, they have to put a concrete pad or a garbage corral. That's just my opinion. If not, they can't have them there at all.
The problem is, so what's the biggest problem you're having with them? With them being on the side? So liability, you know how many liabilities this place has? So you see, you gotta remember, we still gotta remember the stuff that we don't enforce. So I drive through Montreal all the time, there's people that come in, they dump loads of dirt in the middle of our swells, damn near on the side of the road. Central County don't move it, and I know y'all see it.
Well, we've been moving in material, so.
And then another thing that I'm gonna tell you what came up with this, so when the whole garbage can thing came up, then the thing was all these real estate people putting up their signs. Well, guess what? Central County pulled one up, broke it. They said,
Yep.
oh, we can take it out. And then who paid for it to put it back in?
We did.
So see, this is the type of stuff, it's like these regulations and all this stuff, this is a bunch of just junk. It's like, so if you put the garbage cans on the side, okay, so the dog tears up all this garbage, the owner takes their garbage can inside, how are you gonna enforce them to clean it up? You know what they're gonna say? Whose right of way is it? It's your problem. And they don't have to clean it up. So the only way that they could do it is so it's like a mile, I'll tell you, we had dogs, they used to grab our garbage cans, tear them all up, and I got tired of having to go out there. So you know what I did? I put them in a thing, and that's where they always stayed. And a lot of other people, there's a reason why people do it is because it works for them. If it didn't work for them, they wouldn't do it. Now, there's bad actors that they throw a bunch of junk in it, everybody's gonna pay for it. So it's like, there's some things you're gonna be able to force, and just some things you're just gonna have to let it be. You're gonna have to live with a little bit of it all. Me, I'm against permitting and enforcement and putting a sign, you got 90 days, I think that's a crap, that's the one thing that the community's so tired of, is all this enforcement and enforcement and enforcement, So the only thing that we could do,
I just want you guys to tell me, if they have it, that's fine, again, because then I have Mr. Santiago, what he said, right? Mr. Mata's not here, Mr. Robert's not here, they're gonna have their opinions, and then it's gonna be like, so do we let them do it or don't we let them do it? That's all I want a clear answer, so when people ask me, is it allowable here?
is there anything not allowing it right now?
Not that I know of, that's what I'm stating.
It's up to
Because look, this
That's
this
what I'm stating,
this, yeah, but
because.
this has came up before, and it died. Because the whole thing came out with the real estate, so then this is what happens, and the real estate companies come out here, they set theirs up. And then they got more power than the guy with a damn garbage can that's been here for 20 years. That's the stuff I don't agree with. And then whenever Central County starts bending their knees to these real estate people, that really pisses me off. And I don't like that type of stuff. So it's like we have these community members that they're here, and then it's like, people bending and flexing to people that selling property.
What-
And we don't need to make
what
people's
was
life
there
more
with
harder
the
than it
signs?
is.
Well, it was, no, so the bins, if you go around, and you'll see it,
No, I'm saying, but what happened with the sign that we?
Oh,
had to
that
pay
sign?
for?
back when, what happened was that we were removing these signs, like some people had, they were selling items, it wasn't just a real estate, so.
Well, I seen the email, that's why I'm bringing that up, because
Yeah.
I still have
But
an email from that.
Emilio had, we were removing the signs from our corners
Mhm.
and off of our stop signs, cause they were, people were posting stuff there close to the corners and stuff like that.
Yeah.
So Emilio at that time asked to start removing all of the signs. There was one, real estate sign that it was not on the two, what is it, the 2 feet within the property line. They actually had it on the our right of way. And I remember Pedro pulled it out, and that's when it became the issue, and the realtor contacted, Central County, and Mr. Famero was the one that got involved, because we removed it, and supposedly there's a law that states that realtors have the right to put their signs on any right of way, because it's for sale. I don't know how true that was. All I know is that we ended up putting it back and paying $109 for that.
So then, so this is a whole
That's
liability,
what I'm stating.
and this is a liability thing, so somebody goes through there on whatever, even if it's a photo, they're not supposed to be right on the right of way, and then they crack that thing, who's gonna be liable for it? You know, and this,
Yeah, there just has to be parameters. All I'm saying is, we have to have parameters set in stone and in place to start issuing, because it's gonna come to the point, like it has already, oh, the swells are not being mowed. We're having our guys go out there and clean it, then we have to go out there and move all these people's stuff. So I hear your point. I'm just saying, we have to set something in stone today, basically stating, look, you can have it there,
But
but
you
it
have
has
to
to be
maintain
to this standard, or you have to maintain it. If not, it's gonna be removed, because we still have to mow those swells, we still have to maintain them. And let's say, cause I know this is gonna happen later down the road, we start to go clean out these swells, and someone has a bin there, and what are we gonna do? Oh, we gotta move it, cause we gotta do the swell. Oh, you broke my bin.
listen, we've done that before, whenever we've done plenty of ditches out here. And you know what we did? We knock on the owner's house, say, look, we're gonna come, we're gonna redo this whole entire swell, and then, you know, I get what you're trying to say, and we've never had one person, not saying that it can't happen, but we never had one person come and say, you broke my bin, you did it. You know what, they're more happy that we actually did their swell. And if the bin, we say, hey, look, y'all come out here, we're gonna remove it, because some of them, they put their 4 posts, they square it off, and they do all that stuff. We said, we're gonna have to pull it out, and we pull it out, you know? And it's like, we made stuff happen, we had to resolve certain things, so it's like, taking them all out ain't gonna fix the problem. Then you know what's gonna happen? They're gonna grab, says, okay, look, there's your garbage bag on the side of the road, and then you can't make them put it in a bin. You know, there's only so much you can enforce before you overstep your boundaries of what we're here for.
So all I was saying was that you spoke about Waste Connections and the trash, and I remind everybody, they charge us $200 for a trash bin that all of Montura did not receive. Everybody in Henry County received it, and in the county perimeters, they received it, but we failed to receive it. You know when I got mine? When they decided that if your handle breaks when they throw it into the trash, they take your trash bin, and they don't care. Well, when I called, I had to raise Cain with them, and they're like, okay, well, we're gonna replace it with one, but you took all 3 of mine. One, and that's it. But that's the one I paid for 3 years prior, where everybody else got their bins, and none of us here in Montura received our trash bins from Waste Connection,
Yeah, there's-
because that was part of the contract. And the new contract that they're coming with from last year, that they did not, and they extended the year, was the same thing. So they're gonna charge us another $200, that's $400 for our people here, and we still yet to receive the first one.
Yeah, there's a commissioner. who
And that's all I'm
agreed to-
stating.
yeah, There's a commissioner who agreed to it, and in that, their contract, and I urge everybody to read it, in their contract, it states if your trash can does not have a cap, they will not take your trash. And there's people here in Montura that their trash cans do not have caps, and their trash has sat there for 3 months until they went to go buy a trash can with a cap, and they took it.
I don't know.
Sounds pretty ridiculous, don't it?
But they put a rule,
But it's ridiculous.
it is.
So we're gonna make it even more ridiculous.
All I want is clarity, because like I said, some take care of their stuff, others don't. You can see the overgrown grass around their bins, okay? You can, to be honest, some people from back in the days, they're like, well, we didn't know we had to take care of our culvert. Okay,
Yeah.
you are responsible to clean
Me
your
personally,
culvert,
I don't
you
see
know,
a problem
I
with
just-
them having them in whatever they have. It's,
So,
them things has been here forever.
Forever.
And I don't, I've never heard of a situation, I said it ain't that it cannot happen, but it's like it's never been an issue. If anything, I believe it actually keeps, so I've seen just garbage cans that sit on the side of the road, people go by and it pulls it into the road.
mhm.
You know, and then if you put it in a little bin, it ain't gonna happen. You know, I'm just not for, you know, I'm not for all
Like I
that more
said, I just
regulations and
want the
stuff.
board to kinda,
I don't know, I'll put a motion to leave them in.
I brought it,
not
I
worry
just brought
about
it to bring, you know, awareness, because of, you know, it's been a back and forth issue, and again,
Yeah.
you know, some people say it's a liability because it's in the road, on the side of the road, if somebody hits it, and then it's like,
But who said it's a liability?
mhm.
Who said it's a liability?
I had, two different people come in. They're part of our community.
Community members.
Community members
Oh.
that came in and they were talking about the bins. You guys don't bring it up, you guys don't talk about it, and I'm like, well, I'm gonna talk about it. I'm gonna bring it up. I wanna make sure that I am being responsible for the complaints that are coming into our community. That was one of the complaints. Like I said, it's two out of a multitude of people, and I just wanted to bring it up so the board can
Yeah, it's a.
be aware that some people are complaining because some people do keep it up.
They do.
And they said that. Some people make it look nice, it's kept up, but then there's other ones that you have overgrown grass, it looks trashy, they don't care, and their trash is still on the floor next to the bins. You know,
Yeah, not having the bins ain't gonna change that fact.
and then the other thing was that, oh, you know, my neighbor has, this was the other one, my neighbor has one, and I'm almost running into it because it doesn't end up on their side, it ends up, like you said, halfway down the side of the right of way, because they either dragged it that way or whatever, and I've almost gotten into an accident, and then that's why I meant
All,
to say
the only thing that I could see that we could make sure is that it's enough off the road
Mhm.
to where
It's not a liability.
it's not right. Because the thing is, there's people riding bikes down the road, so if you got it right on the edge of the road, and then that person has to catch over, and then they have to go around a guard, I could see
Yeah.
that, something like that happening, but, you know, just keep it so far off the road. 'Cause so when our code enforcement came out, they tried to enforce it, it wasn't that they could enforce it, they were just trying to scare people, because Central County sent them as attack dogs to try to scare people.
Oh,
So they said you gotta have it so many feet off the right of way at first.
okay, I don't-
And then the thing is, whenever people didn't, code enforcement couldn't do nothing, because they have no teeth to do it. And so it comes.
It belongs to us.
Right, so the only thing that I could see that we could do, and it's not even to get that far deep into it, is just to say, look, try to keep it so far off the road, that's it. Because some people, you know, they verge off the road, they don't wanna hit a garbage. I had a guy, I was playing on a phone, he hit mine, and mine's way off the road, he pushed it all the way into the ditch.
Mhm.
And I watch on my camera back out and leave, it's my neighbor.
Yeah.
So, you know, so even as far off as it was, it still happened.
I know.
You know, but he was on the phone playing and he was cruising, and so it can happen, but
Mhm.
So I don't have an issue either way. I think the problem that we would run into is, like Mr. Self was saying, is we're gonna have to enforce everything else that we don't enforce now, right? Because then you'll get somebody that, you know, you enforce the trash can on him, where now he's gonna find something on his neighbor that we're not enforcing, and he's gonna
Correct.
come in here and say,
And
hey,
that's what I would like to avoid.
yeah.
So if we say you are permitted within these parameters, you can have it. That's all. And then if somebody comes in, well, you can't do that. No, the board agreed that you are allowed to have it within a certain amount of feet, you know, off of our right of way, and you can leave it there. That's all I wanna know, because then that way it avoids the back and forth. It was voted on and they agreed with it. That's all I'm saying.
yeah, it's never been enforced. I mean, that thing's
That's
come
all
up
I'm
a few
saying, you know,
times.
because if people come in, you know, some have them, some don't. And then, like I said, it was just something that was brought to the office, and I'm bringing it to the board.
Alright, so bring up a vote, keep the trash bins, and they could keep the trash bins on the side of our right of ways. You see any,
within a certain
you
amount.
see any type of liability or anything crazy that, or anything that you see from your
You already
side?
said it, you're gonna get sued anyway, no matter how much we think it through.
So there we go.
But
Okay.
how it ends up is a different story.
Okay,
Okay,
Plus,
alright.
all right, that's all I needed to know.
Great, thanks.
Thank you, board.
It's true.
unfortunately.
You don't see them signs that we got out there? They can hit them things too.
They sure do. They take them and they remove them, they throw them in empty yards.
How many feet off the right of way they're supposed to be and how high they're supposed to be? If we're supposed to follow DOT? Remember, that's the type of
They don't
stuff,
follow DOT.
but this is what I'm saying, that's
You
what
don't
ends
see
up,
the county sign that,
that's what ends up happening, because then whenever they wanna start saying we're gonna play it,
I know.
you know, cross your T's, dot your I's, and somebody's gonna come from DOT and say, well, that sign ain't even right, so what do you fault? And then it's like, yeah, I'm opening up a big old can of worms. Yeah, anyways,
So
so,
that's, your discussion,
Alright, so line G.
line item G.
so back yonder, when Mr. Bennett was stepping down due to his health, and we were looking for a new engineer, we did ask for Mr. Bennett's blessing on the applicants for who we thought would be a good fit to replace him. He then suggested Stephen Dobbs, who we then discussed and appointed as the county engineer. It was brought to my attention, there was some stuff with New Line and him that they just parted ways. But my biggest concern is all of the work that Dobbs has done with the county, and now bringing in someone who has no, not saying they don't have knowledge like he does, but understanding of what we're looking for, what's our plans, because they don't just deal with county stuff, they're also dealing with a lot of our grant and stuff like that. I did speak with John about the issue, if there was any legal parameters or anything that we would have to jump through, but keeping the firm on wasn't what I think we were initially intended on doing. I think our initial intent was keeping Dobbs as our engineer. But finding out that Dobbs is no longer with New Line, he's no longer present. Not because he chose not to be present. So my thing is, my motion was to put him in his engineering position as our district engineer, and whatever contractor we have with New Line to completely resolve and move forward with it. Because in all of our meetings and everything moving forward, Dob has been present for our grants and a lot of other stuff. Our project that we want to look forward for, the clubhouse, so also the relationship that we have built with him and the direction we want to move the district in. So that's the motion that I have today.
So through the chair here, so I did look at our contract with New Lines, has a typical, both sides have the 30-day out, that's there. The issue is whether or not Steve Dobbs can even communicate with us. So right now, all I've been able to do really is email them to ask if he had any comment, because there literally may be a provision that says we can't respond.
Correct.
So not knowing that, I will give him, he hasn't responded, give him another day. Obviously, I'll update everybody if I hear anything either way, maybe we'll give it until Friday. But that might be the issue to run into, he just can't, he's just gonna be subject to a non-compete that might be very explicit about how far around here he can work, what type of work he can do, but we would not be privy to that, only he would be, and New Lines would. So that's where we are with that. We don't really have an answer as to whether, even if we wanted to with all our hearts, whether Mr. Dobbs would be able to take an offer. Right? So it just has to, however you want to treat it, but if you want to investigate it, we are investigating now. We'll let you know when we find out.
Yeah, because I spoke to him, he said he has no problem taking the position, it's just that's the parameters of the contract that we signed was with New Line, not him personally. So then that's when I reached out to our legal team, and that's when Stephen and John said if there is something in there that he can't, that would be the only issue for him. But from the conversations I had with him on multiple other projects for the district, I don't foresee that. So that's my only concern is I don't want to have another representative come in and it's like, hey, day one, this is all the projects we've been working on, here's all the grant meetings that you missed, this is what the county wants to work, I don't want to restart that. because we restarted it with our treasurer, we restarted it with engineer, our district manager. So I wanna keep the ball rolling as it's been. And you know, if Steve Dobbs doesn't work out, you know, down the road, you know, New Lines hasn't done anything wrong to us, we can always revisit that and welcome them back. But pertaining to district as of today, I don't want us to stop that, line that we have going on. So that's why I put that on for a motion. But yes, I have spoken to him on multiple occasions, and he said that he'll be watching the meeting, to hear what we have to say, and he'll probably reach out to you guys personally, depending on how we vote or what we wanna do moving forward.
Sounds like we can't vote right now, right?
Right, so if I'm trying to think how we could craft it into something
Like using
usable.
one?
Yes. So for example, I could, on behalf of the district, I could send an offer, but that would be a tentative offer to discuss an offer, right?
Right.
And then get some acceptance on that. That's fine. So if you want to do a motion in a second, just to allow me to do that, I'd be happy to do that. That might be a good way to
Okay.
start it, right? Because obviously we have an engineering firm, they're here, they're under contract, so if anything comes up, we have the help.
Right.
Even if we're looking at something else, so
Yeah.
it would just be that, it would just be, let me reach out and formally make an offer on behalf of the district. That's it.
So,
That's my
so
motion.
making an offer and,
It would be to initiate communications with the, I guess, outgoing engineer to discuss his direct employment.
okay.
So you could just, as that, if somebody wants to make that motion, you can.
But I just wanna make it clear, it's not an actual offer, it's
No,
it's
yeah,
just
nothing.
starting communication with,
Yeah,
like an actual directive from the board.
Exactly.
Okay.
Yes, sir.
So, can I get you said you had a motion to start communication with Mr. Dobbs.
Yeah, I'll second it.
That's my motion.
Second, can I get all in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Yeah, I'll take care of it. Go from there.
All right, so staff reports, district managers report.
Well, we continue to work with Ovid, right, with the grant, we're moving forward. Actually, Culpeper and Serpent, we have a representative here, he wants to give an update, that's what I just gave you, Chair.
So you wanna go through that first?
Yeah, I mean, mine's is just, I can give you it really quick. So basically, you know, we attending the regular grant meetings for the county for the 1.6 that they're in charge of. Ovid, we've been doing our, grant updates with the state as well. We've changed several culverts at the end of the, canals that have been collapsed. We've been working on cleaning out culverts down the roads as well. So right now we're off of, Bald Cypress and Isora. There is a road that's halfway done there, which is Bald Cypress and Isora to the north side that we talked about several times. It needs to be, finished. And, now during this dry season, there are properties that are there that can't get into their property because Central County had not done anything with it. We actually walked it and it's not as deep as we thought it was. And so it's something that we can finish now. And it's dry, so it's a dry season, so we're gonna start targeting that, and work on that. And like I said, we've worked on the collapsed ones as part of our grant. So, and like I said, right now, we're on Bald Cypress and Isora, we've done everything in the wooded area, everything on Pine Cone, we've taken care of, and we're on Bald Cypress. We'll continue to do the cleanup. We just started up on roads again, okay? So we have, Jeanette that we worked on, we're doing Arboleda and, Brita are the next two targeted ones on Montour Avenue, that they've been on our list. Besides grading, that we started grading some roads. Just a lot of trash that we continue to pick up. There was a bolt that they cut in half, they left half of it on the side of the road that we picked up, and then there was another full bolt that they just left on the side of our right of way wall. There's, we tend to pick up tires and just more trash. They took out mattresses out of, one of our canals that was just, I mean, I don't understand it, but
Yeah.
The mowing, we've kept up with the mowing, we're on the we have the levee around the dike that we're also working on. We've done, several repairs on some of the, areas in which the guys were working on with the culverts. On some of these, old culverts that are on old properties, we're checking to make sure that they have permits. Some of these properties don't have permits, they're collapsed, and we remove them, and we have it written down, so somebody does come in, we have the reference, hey, we were the ones that pulled it, but there is no permit, so that, there is a track of everything that we're doing. And like I said, we started from the Woodland area, and right now we're on Bald Cypress and Isora. So, anything that we've done, we have record of. Some of the owners, we've let them a little thing with our number, they've called us, and we've been able to contact with them. Some of them have removed old ones, because they have two of them, and they don't even use the old one. They're like, oh, we could just remove it, you could just go ahead and remove it, so. And they didn't have a permit for the second one, that's the other thing. So we're like, you got one for this, but you don't have the second one, they're like, nah, just remove it. So again, that's something that we're doing, because in that area as well, there's been, a lot of backup, the flooding and stuff like that. So what we're doing is just trying to improve our, the areas, and we're moving in the same direction, just kind
And
of.
if the culvert's old, but they're still in good shape,
We leave them alone, we
leave 'em
don't
alone.
touch them, no. We're just cleaning the sides, and, if it does have a permit, we put a little sign, so the owner can reach us before we do anything. So we do reach out to them, we do clean it out, but we still put it there, so that the owners can call us, and they have, and they've been calling. The community's been very receptive to it, so we're just doing what our job is, so. I mean, we've had, 50 new permits, 8 pre-existing, that's people just updating their permits, or adding a second entrance. Finals, which is basically that they're actually moving into their house and they need a CO, we have 14. So that means 14 new homes where people are actually moving into their homes. So,
A lot of money coming into the Central County. A lot more money for us coming in, right?
yeah, we don't get those, that. We're flat rate. We don't get the ad valorem or none of that, so. Just keeping up our trainings with our CPR trainings, AED training, the cleaning of equipment, trucks, the maintenance of everything. We had our Thanksgiving luncheon, thank you board, for that, cause you guys set aside that money for us to do that for the, staff once a year. We had some signs that we changed, and, if we ran pumps, it's just for maintenance, it's not actually hauling anything out of the canals or anything of that, our system. And we continue to fumigate throughout, so, I don't know if you guys have any questions for me, so,
Any questions, comments from the board?
we've had the soccer tournament, we had the Christmas event we just had a Christmas event, it was just, very nice. What else? We had, the fall festival we already talked about, but, we had some good feedback with, we had some people visiting our little soccer, display, where Mr. Henry Frankel came out, and it was really nice. And then, we also had a couple of people sign up for the baseball, for the 7 and 8 year olds, which we're still working with that. As you see in the clubhouse, we've done, they did the pressure washing and stuff like that, and with, everything in the pool. We've pressure washed it inside, we lowered it, and we got it back up. So, just doing general, routine maintenance and trying to get things ready for the baseball and, the soccer that you guys approved, so.
I had a question, so the reservoir by pump station 11 and 12, are y'all still hauling out any more dirt or anything from
No, we
there?
haven't. No, we haven't touched that.
Yeah, that, well, it's something that has to be brought up at a meeting. I know that Central County, for a while now, has been hauling out dirt and selling it to the community and stuff like that.
Mhm.
And that's something I spoke with John Famaro about, and I spoke with Steve at the time about it. And one of the things that we came to the conclusion is that Central County shouldn't be in that type of stuff, because the thing is that reservoir, a lot of that material that's there is there for a reason. And then whenever it comes to altering what was originally there, it has to come through a permit. And then that's one of the things I was asking them about, like where so what, all the work y'all did at 7 and 8, 9 and 10 through there, you know, that exceeded what was originally permitted, and all that was a bunch of wetlands back to there. And that them are the type of stuff that gets us in trouble, like what happened with Compton's property, you know, that it's not bad intentions, but what it does, it could come with consequences and stuff. So I know I asked Dobbs for any type of plan on what was the plan there, and he didn't have anything. He said, I don't know. Then I asked John about it. He said, well, I don't know what they did. They're just supposed to do a little bit of cleanup. I said, no, ain't a little bit of cleanup. It's
It was-
a whole
Yeah,
full-blown project. And that's one of the things that I've stressed here for years, is that them are things that should be brought in front of the board before that type of stuff happens. But what ends up happening is the district decides to fly over, and they see that, you know, them fines, if they decide to smack us with one, is gonna be pretty hefty. You know, and that's the one thing, I mean, you've heard me preach it here year after year after year, and we kinda keep going through the same thing, even with the selling of the dirt. I don't see how we can engage in making money or selling dirt back to a community. We're not in the business to make money. And I don't see where we're taking it from our reservoir and taking it off-site to residential properties, and the liability of us going into the yard and crushing culverts and stuff. And that's why the whole liability thing that I always hear all the time for us is like, we make these bigger liabilities than you know, a little garbage can or something. And that's something that I think as a board, we're gonna have to really get down and talk about, because it's something that could probably, because I mean, y'all are still gonna sell dirt whenever you're able to, right? Y'all have a list of people that's,
we do have the list,
mhm,
and, they do sign a waiver that if we go onto their property, we're not liable,
mhm.
because we're just delivering that, and that's the cost of what it is.
Yeah.
It's $100 just for the equipment that we're using to put it in there and to get the truck to deliver it to them. It's not like it's coming off the canal bank like they used to do back in the days.
Yeah.
They cleaned their canal bank and there was dirt and you were on there. I remember my father-in-law used to do that, where he would come in and talk to Cookie, when you guys would come down and clean, that's what you would drop off, and that came with trash, it came with whatever came out of the canal, that's what you were getting. So, I remember that, back in the days. But what we're doing, they're not getting that, they're actually getting whatever dirt that we had been
Right.
cleaned out from before.
I get that, but the thing is the legal aspect of it.
Mhm.
So there's a difference between surplus and then making material, like mining.
Mhm.
So that was one of the things that I brought up. So when that inner canal to the reservoir,
Mhm.
I said a minute, it's not supposed to be there. I think we all agree that's never,
Correct.
that should have never came in, it was never part of the plan, and it wasn't nowhere within the plans for it to ever be put in there. It's after, you know, the reservoir was accepted through the district, everything was good, then it came in after, because there's nobody watching.
Mhm.
And then, so that's why whenever Central County went back and started doing rehab on it, I always told them, once you take that material out and you make it wider and deeper, now what you're gonna start doing is that you're gonna start, destabilizing the edge of your banks. And then whenever that goes in, where you're gonna grab material to fix that? Cause it's sitting some over here, some over there. And, that's why I've been pushing for them to stop doing that, because that material's there for a reason. And then changing anything with it, you know, that has to come with a design plan. You just can't say, well, it looks good, and it just doesn't work like that.
Yeah, well, the one that you mentioned on 10, what they did was we started refilling in
Mhm.
the inner canal on 7 and 8 through there. That's the same material, and you see the bridge that they built
Mhm.
but that was part of the canal, the inner canal, that they started pushing it back into the canal.
Right.
Yeah.
No, I understand what they did.
Yeah.
My worry always is that if you go and you look at an aerial map of what it looked like last year to today,
Yes.
it's totally different. And then the district looks at aerials all the time.
Mhm.
So the thing is
Yeah.
that's what's always gotten us in trouble. So it's the same thing how they've been trying to figure out what the footprint is within the wetlands and the mud flats and stuff out there.
Mhm.
You know, they see that stuff and they're tracking it. They can put it down to acres of what you got. So that's why I've always tried to bring up the thing with the whole selling. for one, doesn't make sense, cause surplus is like if we buy 50 loads of dirt, and we use 25, we could sell the other 25, cause it has to be at what the cost is, or you could go above, you can't go below, so my whole thing with that too was that selling the truckloads for $100.
Mhm.
So you have, you know, 2-3 equipment out there, you got dump truck, you got, so by the time you figure out all the manpower and all the stuff, $100 is like, I think Central County, you know, we're wasting money. So it looks like it's a good thing for the community, but overall, we're wasting a lot of money, and it's some stuff that we probably shouldn't do. You know, that, I know it's turned, my conversation turned into something bigger than what it should be, but it's just more for the board, that's something we need to talk about, you know, but I spoke to John about it quite a few times, I spoke to Dobbs about it, and we all agree that maybe it shouldn't be going on.
Wait, John told you that?
Oh, yeah.
You have it in email?
No, I thought, no, look,
It's right here.
that's what I'm saying,
Was I present for that meeting? That he said we weren't supposed to
No.
do? Oh, okay.
whatever I spoke with him,
Okay.
I speak to John a lot on the phone whenever there's certain things I brought.
Now get it in
It's-
black and white.
So,
Cause I asked,
'Cause what this-
and
look,
he said, no.
what this all goes back to is the same thing like the use of the reservoir. You remember whenever they said we could ride the reservoir, we could do whatever we want? Didn't John say we can? Well, what happened?
We legally we're not supposed to.
There's a way, but it's not the way it was being done.
Right.
So it's the same thing with surplus. So I asked, you know, because surplus came up. So what is surplus? Whenever you're out there and you're taking a canal, you're making it wider, you're making it deeper. So whenever somebody says, oh, we have 10 people on the list today, we gotta make this list. That's not surplus, you're making material to get them
Yeah.
10 off a list, that's a business.
Right.
And and that's the stuff that I just don't understand what we do. So things we need to start operating more like what we're supposed to and
Right.
quit getting into these real screwed up situations that we keep putting our heads in.
Right.
You know, that's why I keep bringing up to the board, these are things we need to talk about, because these are things that get us in a lot of trouble.
Right.
Same thing with elections and all that other stuff. Don't wait for it to come and bite you. Take care of it right now, you know. And the sand, they've been selling sand whenever I even worked here. We didn't sell it, we gave it away.
Mhm.
But even then, there's still issues with that
So
too.
so from what I heard is there was a order list,
Mhm.
and they were moving per that order list.
Right. So, and I kept a lot of track on that, so I used to ask y'all for tons of paperwork and stuff with lists with dirt and stuff.
Yeah.
So I'll see for the day and I'll even talk with workers, says, oh, we had to fulfill this list today.
Mhm.
We got more important stuff to do than to deliver dirt, you know, we got swells that need to be done, not delivering dirt, and that's my issue, is that we go to roads, drainage, recreation.
Mhm.
Mining dirt, selling dirt, transporting dirt to community members, that, I don't think that falls within our scope of work.
Right.
And I don't think that that's how we should be utilizing our employees, our time, and our resources. Because that $100, we don't get that, that's, so, okay, so you got 20 grand back, but how much did it cost for you to
To
pull
really
that out?
operate it, right.
Because any,
And
I know it has
to
nothing
our
to do with,
discretion.
and I know it has to do
No,
with
I'm
the
just
board,
saying
but the board,
that the stuff that
the work
we've
was
done,
here.
no, but the stuff that we've done, I don't create dirt to sell it. You understand? If we have that project and there was dirt that we have to bring here, instead
Yeah.
of bringing it here, if you were still on my list, whether it's 2 years or 3 years old, then I'll call you if that's something you want. If not, it's gonna come and sit here.
So my thing is,
That's all I'm stating,
is that,
like, you know.
if you look at the ditch, and if
Mhm.
the ditch is 6 foot deep, and now it's 10 foot deep,
Mhm.
you made more material, or you know, you're taking out more material. So this is what I'm saying, is that if you're gonna rehab it, or you're gonna set it back to its original form,
Mhm.
that's fine. Which is not supposed to be there, but let's say if they said,
Right.
okay, it's gotta be per this,
Mhm.
and then now if you make it wider, deeper, I know why they made it wider and deeper, because
Because it's a material,
they needed the material for,
yeah.
to fulfill a list. So that's my issue with that type of stuff. We're the only county that does some weird, strange stuff here, and I don't know where the hell this stuff comes from. Well, I can tell you where it comes from. It's not this board, but there has been
Yeah.
some board members and others
Yes.
that allows this circus to go on. And at some point, it needs to stop, and I think, you know, that's why I wanna bring it up now, and I'm probably going way over what I should be saying, but I really wanna push on it. You pay more attention to this type of
So would
nonsense.
you like me to add this to our agenda for next month?
Oh, sure, yeah,
No, I'm just asking so
Absolutely.
then we can address it
Yeah,
properly.
absolutely.
There was
And it can be brought to
questions,
the board.
yeah, because there was
Okay.
questions that were asked to our legal team when it first came up about selling of dirt. And I was told the green light is go, so they were good.
Yeah.
And then I had
But-
asked Bennett at that time, is it messing anything up with the structure of what's there?
Yeah.
And is it allowed to happen? Because he's the subject matter.
You know what, he's gonna say no.
And he said no. Yeah, he said no.
You wanna know why? Because whenever that whole thing came through, and when I brought it up to the board, you know what had to happen? He's the engineer. He's supposed to be overwatching that.
Mm-hmm.
So that's why he can't go against it and say, no, it's not supposed to be there. They're gonna say, okay, so who's the engineer? Yeah, I remember, man, these, and that's what I'm saying, we need to correct these problems before they keep going, because what's gonna happen is that they're gonna keep digging and digging and digging and digging, and we're gonna have a bigger problem. You know? But it's just, you know, not beat on a dead horse for so long, it just is
I
something that,
have it written down,
that
so
we need to
can
bring up
address
and
it.
really iron this out, you know, and then, and the thing is better explained, because if you, so anybody can say it's surplus, but what is surplus?
Right.
You know,
Where's that
and
fine
that's
line?
why,
What
you know, that's
is-
what John said, you know, his biggest thing is understanding of where it's coming from, why is it there, so if it's something that's permitted, it's supposed to be there, yes, we do have an obligation to rehab it and do stuff, but we can't change what it was permitted to be
Yeah.
within the plans.
Yes.
So now, it's not permitted, it's not supposed to be there, just because people aren't paying attention to it, doesn't mean we need to keep playing with it and taking out more,
Mm-hmm.
because we can't get material to put it back
It's
in.
like crying wolf, and then the day you really cry wolf,
Right.
you're dead.
Because what's happening now is that every time you run them pumps, it's conveying right along the edge, and what it's doing, it's eroding, it's undermining it, and then whenever your bank gives out, what do you do, pull that in and build it up, and then what do you still have to stabilize that at the bottom? You have nothing.
Have we, since this was brought up, have we done anything with it, or has it been at a standstill since then? Regarding the dirt in the reservoir? Have we
Like
done anything?
selling it?
Like removing material, doing anything? Have we done anything since then?
Not since,
But-
the last thing we did was 10, because 10 was the only one that we hadn't gotten to, that we straightened it out like we did with the other ones. And as the guys were bringing out the material, we started filling in the inner canal along 7 and 8, 9 and 10. We started bringing that material and started filling it back in. And so that's where the guys build a bridge to make sure that as they're going, they're building it, you know. Now, the only thing was that on the inner canal, on the side where it goes into the reservoir, there's all that extra material, when they pulled it out, that they dumped it there, where we have all these overgrown trees and stuff like that, because it hadn't been touched in forever. I have not touched that. We only did the part that, like I said, that we straightened it out. That, you know, on 10 and where, Mr.
Yeah.
Sutton
Have you seen it
talking about.
yet?
Some of it.
Yeah, so the biggest thing is like if you go out there, there's tons of aquatic plants. I mean, there's nothing but water willows out there.
Mhm.
There's buck, there's stuff like that. So anybody that goes out there, any wetland biologist goes out there and they look at it and they say this is a wetland.
Mm-hmm.
And then you see how far in it went? There's a reason why the project stopped right there. It did not exceed that. So that's what I keep trying to say. Whenever these type of things happen, we shouldn't be going that far. And then the thing is, that doesn't come in front of the board. And then the thing is, Dobbs wasn't involved in that, really, next to none.
No, he wasn't.
No, when we started cleaning that,
A little bit, but not.
the reason why we targeted it was also because there was tires, there was, junk and trash that had been sitting in there from before. Not, again,
On the discharge side of the pumps?
yes.
Mm.
Where we went in to clean,
Yeah.
we took out tires, we took out, barrels half already eroded, metals,
Right,
I mean, there was a list of things that came out of there, to be honest.
right.
So, and that was where they were cleaning. Now, where they stopped, cause from there in was all that wetland area.
Mhm.
We didn't go beyond that. But, and again, I had Dobbs come out there, and Dobbs did see what we were doing. And I asked him, is this, and he said yes. So again, this is, you know.
I spoke with him after, because I seen it, somebody asked me about it, and then they say, no, they cleaned all that out, and I said, let me go, so I went and seen it, I mean, that's probably 300, 400 feet away, and that's all wetland, you know, and, you know, I don't even know if I talked to you about it, or if I
Is
brought
it in
it
the
up to you.
GIS system as wetland?
Hmm?
Is it in GIS as wetland?
You go out there and you see it's wetland.
If you go
Anybody go-
beyond there, if you go beyond, you're gonna see where the wetland started, where
Right.
we stopped.
But either way, what I'm trying to say is that whenever we get into these projects, look at what happened with the Cotton project, or with that canal. So this is what I'm trying to say is that we have engineers, we have attorneys, we have everybody here to stay away from these problems, but we keep getting into these problems. And that's what we gotta stay away from. And then the thing is, getting them the right information, because what they think they're hearing is not what they're hearing. But that's what I always got with John and Steve. When Steve said, well, they said this. I said, it's not that. And I can send them pictures and stuff. They said, well, that's not what I thought it was. I said, well, y'all are.
I had them come out, and like I said, anytime when we started straightening that out, I asked for guidance, I asked them to come out, they came out, they were like, that's fine. And just make sure that the sheet flows into the reservoir. Joe Arietta came out, and he says, okay, that's okay, what you're doing is okay. It was, and that's from South Florida Water Management.
Yeah, I'm Joe
Yeah.
from the district.
And you told me to call him, and I did call him, and I reached out to him, he said, Becky, don't make sure that it's not a wetland. And I told him, and he said, no, you're okay with, you're just gonna do that sheet flow. We didn't go beyond what they told me to do. And I also had Steve Dobbs come out, and he was said, that's fine. So again, I always try to stay within those
Right.
things. Now, I understand exactly what you're saying, and I respect your words.
Because my thing is, where is it on paper, your parameters, this is what I'm trying to say is
And
that,
that's where I was gonna go. There was no parameters.
correct.
It was just, we could sheet flow it back in as long as we're not touching anything excess into the reservoir of what's up there. And I was just saying, all we were doing was correcting. And now,
Right.
like I said, the inner canal and the area where they dumped the material on the inside, I won't be able to touch that. I won't be able to touch that because of all of that excess of tree debris and everything that's there that runs with the wetlands now. We can't touch it. You know, so that stagnant water is there. You know, and that wasn't us, you know, that's been there forever, but I'm just saying, you know, and unless there's a whole project that comes out of it that, you know, you guys say, okay, we can get it together, get it with the engineer, get it fixed, do whatever, then, you know, and then we can move forward with the district and have them involved or whatever,
Yeah.
then to be able to fix that inner canal so everything sheet flows back into the reservoir like it's supposed to, and make sure that we're not ruining or destroying any, habitat that's there at the same time. But what was given permission from the pumps, and even with towards 10, I asked for permission. And, you know, everything was okay, you know, now with the 10 and the way it opened up, like I said, a lot of that material was used right back to fill in that inner canal, and that's as far as we got, if you look from where we stopped, because that's where it stopped.
Do we have that in like black and white?
It's not on paper. It's not on paper.
Email? Anything,
We talked about it in a meeting.
no, I'm saying with the district. When
Oh,
they,
with Mr. Joel?
Mhm.
No, cause he says, I'm gonna be out there, he always does his rounds. He'll come, he'll go to G134, he'll come here, he'll go to the back gate on, you know, the L2 canal in the back and stuff like that. And they don't work on Fridays either, they work up to
They
Thursday.
do the 410.
Yeah, they do
I think
the,
what he's saying is just, anything we do moving forward, we gotta make sure that it's documented. I think that's what.
yes, and I agree with that, that's why I haven't done anything
And-
else.
Especially coming to the board, because like, there's a lot of projects that you do that don't really come in front of us. Excuse me. You know, because one of the things, you know how I am, I put my opinion on a lot of stuff, so something like that, I would have, first thing I told you, get it in black and white, because we just finished going through a whole problem with, what is it, Canal 13?
Mhm.
And then now it's like, here we go again. Even though nobody's bringing anything up, but if somebody wanted to, they can. And they could prove a very strong case there.
Right.
Because, so Joe, he could say, yeah, you could go to here, but how far? And so if I told you, how many feet in did he tell you could go?
Correct, and I agree.
You're not gonna know, because there's limits to everything. And even though somebody says, yeah, you can go that far, so I would say, okay, here, tell me how far. Put it in an email, so then when there's something does happen, he says, Joe from the district, but if something does come out wrong, they'll be like, hey, I didn't say that far.
yeah,
Mhm.
Well,
And I agree with that.
and that's why every time you do projects and these type of outcomes, I always say, I said, Becca, please do this,
Mhm.
because it becomes like repetitive, and at some point, we're gonna get hammered. And that's the only thing I'm trying to avoid, because we've been going through these things for a while now, so,
So-
alright.
Alright, anything else on the manager's
No.
report? You wanna go ahead and get
Yes.
whatever?
Plans.
Plan.
Alright.
So good evening, everybody. My name is Roberto Cabrera. I'm a professional engineer with Culpeper Interpreting. I split a lot of the district work with Steph, so I'm pretty familiar with the space. So we just wanted to give you guys an update. We recently found out about Steve's kind of special thing. So we thought it would be appropriate to come in and drop off some plans. But just generally speaking, by the way, before I go into the update, I was really impressed by, I've been to a fair share of board meetings. You guys got a good structure, organization, and layout here. So we kind of have like two sets of plans here. We have one for the canal #1 improvement plans. We're at the stage where we typically do a red line review with your district engineer and kind of take his comments in before we go into permitting. So we have those plans here. I can follow up with some other kind of copies of those too. So if you guys want to take some time to look at them. But yeah, so we've completed our survey. We have completed our environmental report that informed our plans. We did our LiDAR survey that informed our plans, and so we have those ready for review. And then after your review, we would take your comments and bring them into the plans if you have any comments, and then we would go into permitting. And then I have a separate set of plans. Those are kind of a little bit further, maybe one half a step behind, but I wanted to share those two. Those are on the pump number 13 placement pumps. So I have those, and those are missing a little bit more details, but I felt it was appropriate if I'm just going to come here just give you an update of where we're at with those. So if you guys have any questions.
And what percentage of your plans, are they 100% plans or are they 60%?
So typically at this stage, before we go to permitting, we call them 60% plans, but it all depends on how much feedback you guys have.
Okay. Any questions or comments from the board?
No, just ready to get this project over and done with.
Keep going, right? Okay. So I'll drop off these. I have a full-size set and a bunch of small ones. And then I think Steph has your email, and we'll follow up with an electronic copy of those.
Okay, perfect.
All right?
I appreciate it.
Thank you.
I'll give these to the board. Thank you.
And then here's the.
And then these to you guys.
It might not actually be enough for everybody.
We'll give it to the board.
Do we have anything on the district engineer's report?
That was on mine,
That's the one. Do you need a copy of this? No? He's gonna give me the electronic copy, right?
Yeah,
He's
I'll send it
gonna send me electronically too. This is the review part of it. I think we're all connected on there, so on that email, Jeff. I know definitely you're on and I'm on the Culpeper Interpreting because I saw your name on there.
Okay.
So when you send it to me,
Okay.
Jeff is also connected on there.
He's got email in.
Yeah. So.
Go ahead, Jeff.
First, the status on Culpeper, but you already gave that.
Oh, perfect. I'm sorry.
No, perfect. Next, reviewed and approved 8 electric permits. Attended meeting for Henry County grant with grant writers and county staff. Attended online meeting for resiliency grant with grant writers. The email sent to Shane Parker. Still waiting to hear back in regards to drainage on 833. And that's all I have for the report.
Any additional comments on the Culpeper update or no? Okay.
Just so you know, this is Jeff from New Lines Engineering. I don't know if you can present yourself.
Oh, I didn't know you wanted to know.
It's okay. He's actually part of New Lines Engineering, so they did send somebody to be here to be present for our meeting. And he did come out to the district. I was able to show him around the levee, around the reservoir, some areas. And we even targeted the Avenida del Centro area that we talked about, that we need drainage at. but he's gonna come back with more time so we can actually get that going. That's what you guys approved and that's what we were working on, so that's
So you-
something that,
You would be the main, contact, Jeff?
Just for,
What about the lady that would always come, Becky, what's her name?
that's Diane, she's part of Mr. Dobbs, well, I mean, I don't know if she's still with you guys, with Mulan?
no, today was the last day.
Oh, today was her last day. So she was the one that would accompany him, she was his assistant,
Okay.
so.
All right,
Yes, sir.
moving on, district treasurer's report.
If you go to the page that has the grid lines, the budget versus actual, that's kind of
Yes, sir.
the easiest one to
Thank you
look
for
at.
coming.
So it has the actuals for October, the monthly budget, which is kind of the annual, just divided by 12, and then the percent of the annual budget that's used, that I think you said you wanted to see.
Are you looking at the one that says October 2025 at the top?
That's like this.
Okay.
Kind of going down, some notable things are, in October, there's been no tax revenue that came in yet. Going down to golf tournament proceeds. I know Mr. Mata asked last month what the total that has come in has been, and from August to October, it's been $47,694. Miscellaneous income, the
What's
only
that-
reason.
What's that number at?
What number?
47,000.
That's what has come in from August to October, I just ran
It's
that.
not on here?
No,
Okay.
this is just October's numbers. So in October, 19,000 came in, but a total of 47 has come.
Okay.
And it's kind of split because your fiscal year ends September 30th, so all your new stuff starts right here. Miscellaneous income, I know you had said you didn't want a lot coded into there. The biggest chunk of it is the berries income, which kind of didn't have anywhere else to go, which was 12,376.
Okay.
Permit income. Going down into expenses, golf tournament expenses for the month were 18,875, but then running it for the same period of October through, or August through October, has come out to 20,902. So about less than half of what you brought in. Part of that 18,000 is the golf cart rental, which was like 5,700, the course rental, which was 8,100. All the rest are pretty self-explanatory, and I kind of only made notes on the ones that were percentage-wise over 8%, because that means we are going over more monthly. Going down to 512.2, patchwork of paved roads. All of that in October has been for Camino Real. I know in November I've seen more invoices for Montora Road.
Mhm.
That one is a little over what the monthly budget would be if you did the same amount every month. So I don't know how long patchwork lasts. Do you do it all year? Is it as needed? How does that work?
On the paved roads, it's just targeted roads. Like that's not, we're not talking about the resurfacing, this is just actual patchwork. And that is based on what Mr. Dobbs and myself, we drove around. If we, since we were not gonna do the 2 miles and we took 1 mile where we could break it up to try to cover a lot of these other roads that we're not gonna be able to get done. That's why we asked for Mansura between 833 and Hacienda. So that patchwork that's gonna be done for the year is done,
Okay.
is done. We're not doing any more right now, and that's it.
Well, I just wanted, I know we're only a month into it. We have 215,000 in there.
Correct.
So the first month portion of that would be like 8%, and we're at almost 14, so I just wanted to keep that in mind.
Yep, and I appreciate it.
So we spent 2 months
Yeah,
in 1 month.
almost.
Okay.
Going down a little further, fuel is a little bit more than 1 month's worth, and that's probably just timing with whatever fuel is used for, the cost of fuel. $585 for repairs and equipment. It was $20,000 in the month. There was a 60-inch bucket that was $8,800 and 10 tires that were $5,600, so that's where a big chunk of that came from. And then I think those were the only, uniforms, that one was a little bit high, cause what is Epic? Epic Sports. Those are like employee uniforms?
Those are the shirts. Those are their new uniform shirts.
So that was a one-time thing, it wasn't.
Yeah, it's a one-time thing.
Of $1,500. Did you have any questions about any of the other ones? Those are the ones that I made notes on.
What was the uniforms? It was just a yearly thing that we buy for them, or?
Yes. Well, this was, remember, we just changed our logo.
But I thought we took it out of the budget when we were going through the budget.
Ours is just a one-time deal.
No, I get it, but I think when we were talking about it during the budget sessions, that's one of the things I brought up.
I remember you bringing it up, I don't
we
know
took
if it
them
was
off because
voted on or not.
I said I didn't have no priority in getting new uniforms with new logos, looking at our situation with our reserves.
Yeah, cause weren't the old logo just the abbreviation, the CCWC?
No, we have that logo on the back of our shirts.
Oh, we
And I
did.
didn't have any other shirts. I haven't done shirts or uniforms in like 2 or 3
there
years.
was, we did vote to have all that start getting phased out, so I don't recall, now that you do say that,
It was out of the budget is what I'm
Right.
saying. We specifically talked about it and I said I did not want to have it on there because of our situation with our reserves. I felt like that money could be postponed spending that money. I didn't see a big issue with the guys still having the old logo on their uniforms. That was the comments we talked about before. I mean,
On the budget, we
At
left
this point,
10,000
it's
in
done, so-
there, and I think it was if they needed uniforms, get like uniforms, but don't go and replace perfectly fine shirts
That's
with
what-
new.
Correct.
yeah.
Mhm.
And
So
that's
I
what we
think
talked
that's
about.
what
Yeah.
was done, right?
I haven't, well, again, all the surplus the extra shirts that we've had, I don't have any old uniforms. I don't. And so, and I hadn't purchased anything because we've been in the works of changing the logo and the name and all that stuff, so I never updated anything.
So what I'm saying is if we spent the money because we needed uniforms,
Mhm.
I don't care if we put a
Yeah.
new logo on it.
That's what it was.
What I wanna make sure is that we didn't just go
And
No,
full
money
blown
just-
spend the
Right.
money because
Yes.
we want a new
You're correct.
logo on it.
You're correct. I just didn't have any more shirts, so I had to bring new shirts in. And I went with Epic Sports because they were the less expensive. They were the less expensive, and it's actually dry fit, so it's lighter weight for the guys while they're out there as well working. So, but I didn't have any, uniforms to like update the guys, like with new shirts, even the old ones. And I think the last time we purchased any uniforms was like in 2022 or something like that,
Okay.
so.
Do you have any questions?
My only question is, so when we ended September, what was our carryover?
I don't have September's numbers with me, because we went over them last month.
Okay.
I can,
You can email it to me or something. I just wanna see what was our carryover, where we landed. That's all I have. You guys, the board have any questions?
Yeah, just one thing. One of the things that we used to have on the old one, I don't know if I'm missing it or not, but we used to have John take out how many, the overtime hours of total for that month. It was trying to track it separate because I could go to each individual employee and see how many they have, but what we had John do was take all of them in total, say for this month, we had, 50 hours of overtime and I think he was putting it to a money sign too.
I think you said a lot of that was kinda pretty easy to generate from,
ADP.
ADP.
Mhm.
So maybe if you can start attaching those reports, like over, I mean, I don't know what
That's
kind of
where
reports.
this payroll one comes from, is ADP. Their reports are not very customizable, they're not as user-friendly as I would like them to be, where, like, I have to manually put in all the rates and stuff here, cause it's not pulling a report that shows all the stuff you wanna see.
Yeah.
So I kinda have to make it. I can break out how many hours are overtime. I kinda looking at these, you can see what is over 40. There's not many, but I can try to customize that.
Yeah, because the issue, one of the things that we was having, like those months that they had large amounts of overtime, and then whenever I was going back through their dailies, it wasn't reflecting, so they'll say on their dailies they had 40 hours, but for that week, it's 45, 50 hours. So then that's what kind of triggered the whole thing about starting to separate it out to where we know how much overtime is being done and that it's justifiable, and at what rate is it costing us.
So if you look at the payroll report, would me highlighting the lines for the employee that are over 40, is that kind of what you're looking for? Like if you go on the second page of the payroll report, halfway down, it's like on 10/16, Fidel Lacosta, he had 50 hours.
Mhm.
Would highlighting that help, or do you
Well-
want something that says 10 hours?
Yeah, well, so what they did, they just combined, like if you took Fidel and you took everybody,
Just looking at the total,
yeah, the total.
The
like a
total.
total overtime and then,
I think you can do a specific report on ADP, but like, again, it would just be calling ADP and asking them, for the report. It's like how to get it, that it gives everybody in our,
Yeah,
so.
cause it just looks different,
I
whenever you
really
see
think
53 hours, or like there's one guy, but whenever you go through the whole thing,
Mhm.
I mean, it could get expensive, up 15 grand, I
And
mean,
do
it
you
get
want it
pretty.
broken down by the whole month, or how payroll is broken down by the pay period?
It was doing for it for the whole month,
Okay.
that's what we're doing on a monthly base.
I would say if you can do the total overtime, maybe a percentage, that it's easy for us to kind of say, okay, we spent 20% of overtime.
Are we talking, I think
Just
we might be
overtime.
talking about two separate
Overtime.
things. Are you talking about seeing it on the payroll report? And I feel like you're talking about seeing it on the financial.
I don't really think it matters as long as we get a report. right?
Yeah, right, yeah, as long as we can see it, cause that's what we did, it'll just say, total employee, overtime, so many hours, and then it cost,
Yeah.
12,000,
That's why I was
1,000.
saying, I don't know what ADP has, maybe if you wanna start there and bring us what overtime report ADP offers, and, you know, that may kinda answer a lot of our questions.
Yeah, and it'll help us more, because I mean, whenever we start putting together our payroll and stuff, we need to figure out how much of that overtime, because at some point, we might have to add more to our payroll, we need to understand where it's coming from and why.
Yeah, I agree. Alright, any other questions from the board?
Good.
No questions?
So I've been the sheet we're looking at, I've kind of been customizing to some of the stuff you were asking for. Is the way it's set up what you're kind of looking for, where it shows the month, the total budget for the whole year, and what percent? I know you wanted to see percents, and then kind of highlight when we're kind of over percentage-wise.
Yeah, I mean, to me, it's pretty simple to look at, but I don't know if the board wants to see something else. I mean, as long as you can kind of answer, like, you know, like you said, you have your notes on anything that's a big variance, that's kind of the key. You know, because if we're looking at it, those questions are gonna come up anyway, so I think if you're, kind of like right now, you're kind of prepared on all that, so.
Does ADP let you put in, notes?
Yes,
So like if they go over,
I put down under, it'll show if you pull the, like when they have overtime,
Mhm.
like if they did the Christmas event and they work
it'll
Saturday,
show that they.
it'll
did
say
the
Christmas event, yeah,
Okay.
I put it in. And or if it's like, whatever, pool maintenance during the holiday that they have to come in and do the pool chemicals and stuff like that, that's what I put. On the, on there when I do the payroll. pumps, during the pump period and stuff like that, it's in the, when we started with 80 feet, you can put the comment, the little comment in there.
The only other thing is if you look at the bottom line of net operating income, since we have not brought in any tax revenue yet, we're at negative 207.
That's fine.
It'll roll in.
It's gonna be slow. Maybe just.
Probably next month, I would think it'll start rolling in.
And then in miscellaneous income for next month, there's the money from the sale of another property. I saw that come in. I know they were asking about that last month. Is that Appaloosa one?
Yeah, did that ever get sorted out about the money that they got?
78,000, I think.
Yes.
78,000 was deposited.
Cause there's already been 3 sold,
3 sold, yes.
and all that money
Money
already
for
been accounted
two
for,
though,
and
right?
It's in there, yeah, in our accounts. Mhm.
Did you get money for all 3?
Yeah.
I feel like I've only
They were all
seen
good.
2.
No, they were deposited, because one was in August, that was the first one, which I think it was 254 Avenida del Centro, which was the first one, if I'm not wrong. And then the second one was the, or Dado. Dado, which was 540 South Dado.
down by
Yeah.
Honey Club.
Yes, that was the
Appaloosa.
second one, and then the last one was this one that we just sold, which is the 2.5 acres, and we have 1 property left,
I
because there
think
was 4 in total.
one was done kinda early, so that may be.
Yes, that was the one in
Because
August.
I feel like in QuickBooks, I remember 2 so far, but I
Mhm.
can look for the other one.
That's what I kept telling myself, and I had to go back,
Yeah.
and it was 540, it was the 254, and then this one. So,
Anything else? No? And the attorney report, district attorney's report.
Sure. Thank you, Mr. Chair. So I still have an item on here about so let's call it the senior citizen discount. So I'm gonna take it off after this one, but you asked me to look into it. It's possible. I would need to know what the business terms are. In other words, if you wanna have a blanket senior citizen discount, what would the age cutoff be? What would the amount of the discount be? But you can do it. What you can't do is give somebody a full break. Just the way the charter is written, it says part or all of the assessment is what you gotta charge somebody. So that's why that's on there, just a reminder to me, but I'll take it off until we wanna resuscitate it. We have this thing in Mysterio, this was the tilapia farming. So the FDACs, they don't have a lot of staff. It's funny, the attorney that I spoke with on the 13th is an attorney I've worked with for food safety violations, you know? So in other words, somebody who's a utility player who just gets put in to deal with stuff like this. So they have what they need. How long they're gonna take, you know, generally what we do is send a follow-up, beginning of the year, hey, where are you at on this, right? Because she did say she's swamped, right? But, you know, they are aware of it, they have the information they need to engage in some enforcement letter on their part, would probably be a cease and desist order, you know, and then like a fine, a daily fine, kind of like a code enforcement. That hasn't happened, so I think that's what they would do if they decide to do it. This thing about the releases, that's more housekeeping for me, you know, we have to do it for that closing. In work items, even this, okay, so district completion performance measures, we already did that. When I wrote this, we hadn't quite finalized it, it's done. And then we have this public records request, so, you know, so far, you know, I found we had a bunch of emails. John and I, our involvement in this, in my view, was late in the game. So what you should be getting at some point, probably Becky will say, everyone, check your emails and texts, anything about cotton, gather it all, get it to her. But the real meat of it would be really the work file. If I'm thinking about it intuitively, it's the file that said, when are we scheduling the work? So in other words, that is how you substantiate a public records request about work done. I feel like the emails in that are ancillary. It's about what it took to get the project done. And there was a long story there, so I assume that there are, you know, whatever, work tickets and communication back and forth that might tell that story. But yeah, it's a public records request. We are in litigation. We have a demand letter from March, and the attorney who initially sent us the demand letter has asked to speak to John. And the thing about that is all we asked was for them to provide us, I guess you might say, a measure of damages, if you were gonna figure out what damages they feel that they have suffered And then we would look to see what benefit we have granted or conferred on them and try to see if it balances out. That's my thought. That's not even talking about a lawsuit. That's how we would figure out what's what. Anyway, you should receive an email if you have something about public record request and you would need to check your records, make a reasonable search of what you have and provide it to that group, ship it to them. And so that's where we are on that. Really nowhere, because John, all he did was say again, yeah, we're gonna talk to you, but we need to know what the damages measure is. So, a little bit about, who moves first, so that's where we're at. That's it, unless you have any questions.
Any questions from the board? All right, moving on. Board reports. So,
And nothing.
yeah,
Yeah, nothing either.
All I have to say is, hope everyone has a great Christmas and see everybody on the new year.
alrighty. I don't have anything either, so a meeting adjourned.
Meeting adjourned.